needs of a human being identity politics just because the human being in question isn't a straight cisgender wasp is bullying. And yes, a Dave Brat supporter yelling obscenities at me in the house of my God is bullying. I have been bullied, Mr. Brat. Here I am. Where's your, quote, immediate action?
I guess if I had any inkling that you were sincere, Congressman Brat, that you wanted to bring us together, I would offer you some advice. I don't think you're sincere, but I'll still offer you advice. Why can't you find some common ground? If you were really listening and really sincere, there are lots of issues that cross all political ideologies. Healthcare is one. Now, I know there can be differences about how we get it, but we all need it. We have Ebola that has not been cured. It's just been tamped down. It could come back with some of the Congress people that go on these trips to wherever Ebola springs up at the time. There's the flu every year. Yet you all are talking about cutting funding for NIH. There's a wonderful program on TV about how good NIH is at testing the new drugs and getting people to go through those tests. I think they have to be desperate, but still they'll do it. And any other health care. I mean, we need Medicare, we need Medicaid, we need some beefed up version of Obamacare or whatever you want to call it. It would be great to have universal access. That could be discussed. But there's so many, many things that we need. I agree with what the prior participants have said. I mean, for example, we do not want to lose going in restaurants and having them inspected. We do not want to lose having our food supply inspected. We're in danger of everything in order to fund a stupid wall, which is the dumbest thing. And some other things too that are really bad. So please start listening. Thank you.
Mr. Brat, I am Cynthia Gaines, and I live in Chesterfield County, Virginia. When you first got into office, I signed a move on petition to ask for you to step up and do more for gun control. Every time I see an article in the paper, and I want to be clear, I don't have any children, but every time I see an article in the paper when a child picks up an unsecured gun, kills themselves or another child, when you could step forward and say, let's require every gun to be sold having trigger lock. Something that simple as a trigger lock. Because obviously, people who support the NRA and want to have guns everywhere, they don't seem like they are smart enough to lock their guns away out of reach of little children. My second thing with you, I am blessed that I am employed and I have good insurance. I had surgery in December, and my hospital bill, I only had to pay $500, but my hospital bill was almost $500,000. If I did not have surgery, if I did not have insurance, I could never pay that bill. I could never pay that bill. And I had a friend named Annie. She worked a job that cut the hours to 36 hours a week, had no health insurance. December, we laughed and we talked. January, she found out she had cancer because she did not have the money to go to the doctor. and keep yourself checked. By August, she was dead. What are you doing? You claim to be such a Christian. Not another Annie needs to die. You gotta go. Paul Ryan's gotta go. Mitch McConnell's gotta go.
Hi, I'm Kirsten O'Neill. I have a lot of things that I would like to say to Dave Bratt, and usually his staff hears them about once a week. There's a lot that I would like to say now, but I only have time for a few things. Dave Bratt, you like to say that you are an economist and that you're a professor, but yet you actively ignore evidence when it's right in front of your eyes.
Yes.
You know, you talk about how any kind of professor in any kind of college or university, you're there to seek knowledge, you're there for the truth, you are there to further whatever it is that you're doing. Yet you have consistently advocated for programs that are not evidence-based, that in fact the studies show that they do not work, like students education. Anything like that. Right now, you know, you're advocating, you're on board for the Trump administration budget cuts. Well, HUD, they're cutting programs